Hello.
Howdy. Welcome back to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel.
Mm-hmm.
We got some afterthoughts today. I think kind of all over the place. The good, the bad, the uglies, all of the above. All for... Oh, no, I tried. Tron Aries.
Never.
Sarah,
Anyway.
you doing all right?
Yep. Hey, hi.
Oh, yeah. Howdy, David, Traveler, everybody who's here. Hope y'all are having a fine Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy Sunday. I almost forgot what Monday and Tuesday were this week.
Every day. So it's like, yeah.
One step at a time. We did start season 3 of Farscape yesterday.
Yes.
And that was pretty fun. But that's not what we're talking about today. We got another zany sci-fi movie to talk about. I don't know if zany fits the bill for this one.
Yeah.
It has in Tron past, but I don't know about Tron present. And will it again in Tron future? I know we just talked about talking about how it should be a shorter movie and a longer movie at the same time, but I feel like we might need to pivot in the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future now for Tron.
Yeah.
No. Bad joke. Anyway.
I get it. I'm just... Sorry. My brain isn't caught up yet. Okay, there we go.
No. All good. The one thought we were having right before we hopped on here.
Yes.
Was that this movie is an interesting one. It's got, we like to do good, bad, and uglies, and there's going to be plenty of all three, I think, in this one. And one of the, I guess, uglies would be the best way to say it, just because it's kind of, I don't know exactly which way to think about it. Is this movie should have been shorter, and this movie also should have been longer. The thought process for the longer movie is what? We know there's another like hidden entire act in that film just from watching it. Like the whole Cameron Monaghan part that got cut out that we all know of. Obviously this guy.
Okay.
This guy. Guy from Star Wars and Gotham and everything else like that.
I didn't realize there was a cut part. Okay.
Well, he was in it. Do you remember the bits? He's the only person that we get to see the face of besides Jared Leto and Jodie Turner-Smith.
He's one of the soldiers?
Assaulting. Yeah, when it's those he's the red soldiers.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah. When they're...
He's the one that Jared Leto, he dies in Jared Leto's arms. Spoiler, sorry. We should probably put a spoilers thing up here just to be safe.
Yeah.
Do we have a... There we go. That's what I'm looking for there. That alone just signals that there's far more of a movie. And you don't hire Cameron Monaghan for... That wasn't a glorified cameo whenever he was part of... And he wasn't like a heavy part of the press or anything like that. But whenever he signed on for the film, seemed like it was going to be a lot larger of a role, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it just clearly ended up on the cutting room table, on the floor. And what would have been there? Well, I think what we've talked about with Tron the last kind of week and a half while we have been talking about it, just kind of loosely, just waiting for our afterthoughts day today, has been... I don't see why people expected like an Oscar-worthy performances out of this film when that's never been the case with a Tron film before. It's always been much more conceptually focused. And this is the cool thing that we can bring forward with an idea. And let's play around in that world. And it's going to look awesome and sound pretty damn cool too. But the characterization of these people are not necessarily the focal point of the film. Obviously, we've grown to love Sam Flynn. We've grown to love Jeff Bridges. What is it? Something Flynn. I just can't remember his name right now. But so on and so forth.
They just call him Flynn, I think, for the most part. I mean, I know that's his last name, but Kevin Flynn.
Robo Jesus, sci-fi Jesus in this one. There's obviously something on that cutting room floor, and it feels like it would have explained the Dillinger side of things a little bit more, and why. Obviously, we see plenty of reasons why Leto's Ares doesn't want to be a retain membership of the Dillinger team, I
Yes.
guess, would be a fun
Yeah.
way of saying that. But there's not really anything that pushes him forward. It's just kind of him saying, I got, and I do like it. I like taking the concept of these beings are a brand new form of sentient life. They're being treated
Right.
kind of like robo dogs, which they're not in a lot of ways, but
Right.
it is a sentient piece of life that is
Right.
taking in new information every chance they can get. And especially when, we see it later in the movie with Athena as well, but when Ares gets that water droplet on his hand for the first time and just kind of processes that information, it's like, well, there's literally a whole new world that I know of, but I didn't know it was going to bring these, what are these emotions out of me? And it's just kind of watching the AI actually come to its sentience, which is a cool thing to see, and I guess prevalent for today's world.
I'm just not I'm sure why they didn't go back to, in Legacy, they were what were they called? They were new life form. She was one of them. What were they called?
Cora.
Yeah, they were called something though. What was it? I can't remember.
What is Cora in Tron?
But I was surprised they just didn't bring that back into it. Like they were
an isomorphic algorithm.
Isomorphics, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like why weren't they? They were isomorph, or somehow like bring that into it. I'm surprised they didn't do that.
I kind of I want to say that Leto and
like that's what they are, and that's why I feel like that, or they should be an evolution of that or something. The isomorphics, yeah.
Are they not? I guess because they are.
Yeah, they kind of imply like they are, but they never
specify,
say that word, or like go back to that, and it's like, I thought that was a little odd. Like, why not tie that? That could be a real easy tie-in, and you don't have to like do a lot with it. But
easy thread to tell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I kind of took it as that's just what they were. I didn't actually think much about that, actually.
Right.
So,
clearly that's what they were going for, but it's like, it would have been nice just to have
just a clarification. And I feel like that clarification may have been on the cutting room floor.
Right. Probably.
Yeah. Where Cameron Monaghan is just a character like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's a character actor that that there's something there. There's something there. It's like Tim Blake Nelson getting cut out of Dune 2. You're just like, give me those 15 minutes back. I want them. I don't know why I need them, but I do. It's Bruce Box. I can't even speak. Bruce Boxleitner in this film.
No.
Nope.
He could have been.
Could have been. It's kind of implied that he could come back in the next film if they end up making that.
Right. They definitely, I don't think it's going to happen now with how it's done. Who knows? But I don't know, when it goes to streaming and stuff, I guess we'll see how it does there. That's going to determine a lot too. But they definitely like set it up for another movie. Clearly. Especially with that extra scene at the end.
Is that other movie?
But,
are they trying to get a sequel in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Or are they trying to kind of take the Tron route of give it a decade and then we'll go again?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think they'd wait 10 years again. That doesn't seem likely.
Well, Jared Leto's going to look the exact same, so it's viable.
Yeah. Overall, I don't think it's a horrible movie. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was about the same as Legacy, maybe a tiny bit better, but not much.
I like the concepts in this film better than Legacy, I feel, but Legacy does hit a little harder, specifically for the characterization. So, like, obviously, we've said that the characterizations aren't what this film like holds its hat on or anything,
right?
But a little bit stronger would have been nice. Give me half a second. Oh my God! Hold up, 1 second.
See what's going on.
My AC is apparently freezing over here. There was a pillow kind of blocking it, and I looked over, and there's a nice little icicle formed on the side of it.
Oh, wow.
That's not great. I might have to deal with that in an hour or so.
Maybe it's just a pillow.
Maybe it was just the pillow.
Anyway.
I just turned it off, and it's now making a lot better noises than it was. I'm very glad I have the sound shield around here. Y'all would be very worried for me. It sounds like the world's exploding over here. And mostly it's because Bruce Boxleitner was not back in the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. It's not gonna change the landscape of film right here. It's supposed to snow in the UK tomorrow. Nice, lucky ducks. I'm excited for this part of the year. But it also could have been shorter. Just as I guess we were just talking about how long it could have been with added content, added things they definitely already shot. You know, who knows if they actually did the visual effects for them or not? But
I feel like the big finale fight scene or whatever kind of drug on a little bit too long. Like that could have been a little faster paced. I would have liked to see more. Like I don't think they let you see enough, you know, when Ares makes that turn from being like loyal to Dillinger to kind of flipping to like, I don't know about this, I want to do good in the world, which, you know, it's that scene when he's tasked with looking into Eve's life, like learning, you know, and so he sees her life and then you see him make that change. But I felt like they needed to emphasize that more, have it hit harder, because it just seemed like he watches some videos of her and all of a sudden, oh, I'm different. Like it seems like they needed to spend a little more time on that to make it, I don't know, to see that change, because it just seems like it's a little quick.
Yeah, I feel like that's where that confusion for that length is there, you know? We'll get to that in just a second, David. But just literally to go on what you're saying there, when I say the film feels like it should be shorter, it's because the plot points that are left are very simple and straightforward. Simple in being able to say the concept, explaining the concept might be a little bit harder. But at least the concept is straightforward for any kind of viewer to watch. It's like, oh, fancy laser 3D printers, cool. Yeah. Bringing weapon technology into the real world and utilizing all the new modern computing to do that makes sense, sadly. I mean, like, that's something that's on our own horizon, you know? It's not just someone going, and like some of the criticisms we talked about before already for this film are, we just wanted to bring Tron to the real world. No, it's what has Tron always been? It's weaponizing the computing systems of that day and age and pushing them to the furthest they can go and then some. And that's what we've got in this film, which it succeeds on very, very well, I believe. Yeah. But like you said, those characterizations are they're just, you're wanting just a little bit more. I think Greta Lee is an incredible performer, but I do understand people not being super happy with her lead performance here, because the charisma isn't there. She's a character in mourning the entire time and doing something for her sister, never once for herself, and a little bit more of like just doing something for her would have been nice to have in that. And to kind of circle back on the short version of the film, there are moments that I think, hey, you're saying the same thing you did 2 scenes ago, and it would have made more sense and it would have felt better if there was more context and an extra scene or 2 in between those things. But if, hey, we're talking about this 2 scenes ago and we're coming back to it here, I don't know, say literally talking about Tron being a good guy. I mean, Greta Lee talks about it to her friends at the company a couple times, and like 2 or 3 scenes later, she's on the phone talking to more people about it. Same thing with them talking about, it's been a week and a half, so I'm forgetting the specificities, but the chip that they're going for, the algorithm that they're going for, Greta Lee has it. And it's a very thorough line kind of plot point. And it does kind of drill itself in a little too much, not in a bad way, not in an unforgiving way, I guess. But again, every 2 or 3 scenes, you're like, oh, thanks for that information again. Cool. You told me that one.
Yeah, they do kind of repeat the whole, like, what the algorithm is a lot. It's like, we know.
And I feel like that's
But
okay in a movie
Mhm.
that has more to give. And I don't think the movie that was released has enough to give in that aspect. Where if they would have included the extra storyline aspect of it, I don't know if people would have been happy with a 2 hour 40 minute Tron. We sat as roommates last night at a 2 hour 40 minute one battle after another, and it didn't feel
Mhm.
like 2.5 hours. So
Right.
I don't know if that would have been an issue. I think it would have been, because I think an issue that people are having with this one is just it does feel a little slow. It's deliberate,
Mhm.
and I do
Yeah.
appreciate its deliberateness.
Mhm.
But that's also part of it just being stripped back and cut into a lot of that fat has been trimmed. Where, all
Mhm.
right, we've got a fillet. Can't tell you how well it was cooked. I'm not going to tell you that yet, but you got a fillet. There's not a whole bunch of fat on the trimmings there. Here you go. Um, I would have preferred a ribeye here for my steak metaphors, where we would have actually had some fat on the gristle there. Um,
Yeah.
let that flavor soak into the rest of the meat there.
Mhm.
Um, the thing that I think there, because it could have been a shorter film and gotten the exact same point across, and I think that
Yeah.
would have been the more pop culture
Mhm.
one that probably would have been doing better at the box office at the moment. But if it
Yeah.
were to be that longer film and include those extra pieces in, I kind of think, just for the pacing issue, and I wouldn't call it truly an issue because it is deliberate, but they might
Mhm.
want to hire another editor, or give the editor another few months if they were to do that longer version of the film. And I hope there is like a director's cut
Right.
or something.
Maybe there will be a director's cut or a extended edition or something would be interesting. Um,
That
yeah.
I don't think they've done that with Trons in the past, but I have no idea
No.
either.
Yeah, I really don't know, but
Awesome if they
uh,
would, or if they had, but
right. Did they like do a remaster? They did. I think I watched that. And they did a remaster of the original one, I think.
I think it was just like
It
an
looked pretty
HBO.
good on Disney Plus. So I
Hmm.
think they did remaster some of the stuff. I mean, some of it still looks a little, but for the time, it was kind of awesome.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Um, was Sam or Cora mentioned in the movie? Yes, both were.
Sam was Quora? I don't remember that. Anyway, Sam was because he gave
She,
control to the sisters or whatever.
Cora wasn't
But,
mentioned by name, but we saw multiple pictures of her throughout the film, and
right.
with Sam in the pictures as well,
Hmm.
kind of implying that they're off doing their own thing,
Yeah.
saving the world or just hanging out. Who knows? Um,
Yeah. Letting her see the world because she was real at the end of Legacy, right? So, yeah.
that
So that's what I'm saying with the ISO, like why
isomorphic,
didn't
yeah.
they bring that into this movie with that's obviously how they were able to do it.
The
So obviously they knew the code because obviously she had the code in her or they used that code for her to exist. So why all of a sudden couldn't they do it? It's kind of weird that why did Flynn like bury it in his, 5 1/4 drives that they had to go through to find it.
yeah. Um,
Mm.
I think those are questions that the next film want to answer,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
my gut feeling says that a lot of those questions were answered, and they were on the cutting room table
Hmm.
just so they could set up a sequel. And if I have a biggest
Right.
gripe about this film, it
Hmm.
is the need to set up the next movie
Yeah.
rather than complete this one.
Yeah. I can
Where
see that. Mhm.
I feel like this film doesn't necessarily have a stronger concept than the first two, but there is something about it that I almost appreciate more. I don't know if that's just because AI is just so prevalent right
Yeah.
now, and it's like, oh, this is kind of important right now. That very well may be it. Um,
Yeah, it seems a little more relevant than maybe the first two did, where the first one was almost more like a complete sort of like fantasy kind of thing, and now
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Where now it feels like, I mean, not that their, programs are like these little beings running around our computer, but you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess those are just representations or whatever, but it feels more real, with the 3D printer, which that was cool that they have the 3D printer thing but I didn't quite get like, the 29-minute thing, I mean, I don't know, I suppose Flynn didn't want it out there because he didn't want it to be used in the way that Dillinger was using it, to just print, soldiers and weapons and all that stuff.
Oh, definitely. I just wish that they would have taken the time to explain those 29 minutes just a little bit. But once again, that concept, very straightforward, very simple. The audience gets it the second you give it to us. I would have loved just that extra 30 seconds, 1 minute, minute and a half, whatever it was. Just give us the inner workings. Give us the rhyme for the reason, the why.
Right.
And that would have done a lot. Can y'all hear loud noises right now?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, perfect. Okay, because I think my AC is having a stroke over here. It should shut off in a second. I'm just making sure it's not bad for y'all. This is a good one. We'll get to the director question just in a second, David, but this is a good one. With Tron doing poorly at the box office, do you think the next one will be animated or CGI?
I could see it being a lot heavier CGI, but I don't know if another one's going to get made. I guess we'll have to see how well it does on streaming, or how many people buy it or rent it or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's
because people just don't go to the theater anymore. So sometimes it's hard to say how it does in the theater, if that's really the true indicator if it's a flop or not. You kind of have to wait.
Tron's getting a little bit of a disservice there because the critics don't like it. It's like a 56 or 65, something in that general range, critic-wise.
Right.
And people see that and they're like, well, I'll just wait till streaming and try it out myself. And then they don't look at the audience review, which is like 86 or 87% light. And it's like, come on, people are actually enjoying this film.
Right.
But the people that are paid to say otherwise are saying otherwise. What do you mean? And also, like, we'll be realistic. We're on YouTube. We're kind of reviewing and talking about the film as well. But what gets better clicks? Being pissy about the film. And that is, I feel like, what this film has been pigeonholed into. It's so much better than I think people are giving it credit for. I'm not saying once again, it's not some Oscar-winning film or anything like that.
No, but it just feels like once the momentum starts rolling that way, it kind of snowballs, and then it's like a lot of people either go into it like, oh, this sucks, instead of just being open-minded to it and like watching it for what it is. Again, it's not like the greatest movie you've ever seen or anything, but it's I think it's a fun movie. I think if you've watched, if you've watched the first two, you would like this as another story in that world or whatever. I think it's fine. The pacing was a little bit off. Like I said, I wanted that Ares flip to be more pronounced in a way. Yeah. But
it's probably there somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, visually it looks good. I like those, whatever those things are, those tank things are called. Well, they have tanks, but I mean the flying arch thing. I always forget what those are called.
We did Google it like last weekend too. Tron flying ship.
Yeah.
The
light cycles look cool.
They're so, and I love that.
And I don't know how they get, the light ribbons to actually be solid, but in the real world, but I guess that's so the light cycles are printing those as they don't really explain it. It's just kind of, it looks cool, but they don't really explain it.
I would have loved just a throwaway line or two to explain that. Just say, like, simply put, literally say we have lasers and 3D printers. They have 3D printed or 3D printing lasers that put out particle beams behind them or something. I don't know. Like, give us a throwaway line. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate scientifically. Just give us as the sci-fi people watching this film.
Yeah, because they're not because the constructs they show, like when the time is up, they just kind of disintegrate into dust.
Yeah.
Whereas the light ribbons or whatever you want to call them, just kind of fade. They don't it's like it's light that just that stays for a period. They don't make sense. I mean, it looks cool, but it doesn't make sense.
No. There's got to be a scientific explanation for how that
Yeah.
could work, and they totally could have gone
Right.
super nerdy and given us that, which would have
Yeah.
been awesome.
Hmm.
But again, just give us the 3 printed lasers and
Yeah,
simple.
or whatever.
Woo!
Yeah, but
Don't run into a
like I
laser,
was
it's gonna
saying,
cut your car in
it
half.
was different than the 3D printing though because they just faded. It didn't,
That, and then also,
you know.
it couldn't be a laser
Right.
because they like Greta Lee's character, which hold up. Eve Kim, the main
Yeah,
character.
Eve. Yeah.
I was like, what's her name again?
Yeah.
Whenever Athena's trapping her at the end, she can
Right.
still touch the thing. She's like actively trying to get out, and she gets flung up against the wall of it too.
Right.
Like,
So
if
it's
you're not
solid
cut
light
by
that
the
only
laser,
lasts for a certain period of time. And then when she trapped her, it seemed to last longer too.
yeah. Well, that was a very long 29 minutes.
So there are some things like that, you know, but
I don't know how fast the recognizer is because it does not look like it's moving very fast.
no, it's not. It's just
I
kind
would
of
have
that
thought,
could have happened a little. Yeah, and there was some issues with the 29 minutes. Like stuff that happened within 29 minutes was a little
I love the plot device of it,
right.
but you can't tell me it didn't take half an hour for the recognizer to just get to the city from
Exactly. It
the
was
hill.
flying so slow. It's like
Yeah, if you put
yeah,
some
I was
jet
like,
boosters
there's no
back
way
up,
that some of this stuff was like within 29 minutes, you know?
if it took
But
the light bikes going as fast down that highway as it was, both of those,
mhm,
Athena and Ares chasing Eve Kim at the beginning of the film,
right.
how am I supposed to believe the recognizer gets there in that time? Like
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
the film doesn't lead its audience into believing that's possible. And I think that's
No,
kind
that
of
was a little, yeah. They needed to, well, that whole sequence could have been sped up a bit, I guess.
well,
But
and
I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. Like, there is
yeah.
a shorter version of this film
Mhm,
that gets the exact same point across, and I
right,
think doesn't even lose its heart or lose the pacing
right.
beats that it needs to hit either. I think you can shorten
Yeah.
it by 12 minutes, realistically, maybe
Mhm,
8 to 12 minutes, somewhere in that range. But if you extended it another 25, I think you'd have a better film. Because we need that
right.
context. It's the same thing as,
Mhm,
hey, I can watch. It's not the same thing. I got to be careful there. It's not the same thing, but in a similar viewing point of, yeah, I can watch Lord of the Rings theatrical cuts every time.
mhm,
But even having seen the extended editions once,
right,
well, now I know what's missing. Like, I understand that the pacing
right.
is a little bit faster and a little bit better, sure.
Yes.
But I needed that context to
Mhm,
really you don't 100%
yeah.
need it, I guess, in Lord of the Rings specifically, but for other films that don't have, like, New Zealand and everything else going for it that
Right.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings had, that's just
Yeah.
such a once
Right.
a generation, once maybe a whole generation of generations
Right.
kinda deal happens.
And Lord
Uh,
of the Rings is such like a rich, like Tolkien, built that whole history and I mean there's just so much richness and deepness in Lord of the Rings that like you couldn't even I mean they just were able to scratch the surface in the
oh, yeah.
movies. But I think they did as good of a job as you could possibly do with those. Now the Hobbit movies, that's another thing, but that extended stuff, that was stuff that wasn't even part of the book. I don't think
Some
they
of it
pulled a lot of stuff
was.
from Cimmerillion or whatever, but
Uh,
um,
yeah,
mm,
yes
but
and no, I guess.
yeah,
The one thing that was in the books that I loved they added in The Hobbit
mhm,
extended was Bjorn, the guy that turns into the big old bear. But
yeah, that was in the book.
yeah, that
Bjorn,
was in the book. That's one of
yeah,
the good things they added
yeah,
into the extended editions, I think.
mhm, yeah,
The, and Evangeline Lilly did an amazing job, but
right,
Toriel was not
right.
necessary whatsoever.
No, it didn't need to be 3 movies. I mean, 2,
No,
I could see maybe doing 2, but 3, no. I mean, I like the stuff with the village and, um, all that, but
the Lake Town and all that kind of
Lake
stuff.
Town, yeah, Lake Town.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
been a
mean,
while.
in a
Yeah.
similar way, who
Mhm.
directed this movie and what have they done before? It's
Mhm.
Joaquin Ronning,
Mm.
Ronning, however the proper pronunciation is there. He's
Mhm.
done
Swedish.
the final Pirates movie. He did Maleficent.
That wasn't Tor Horrible.
Oh, he did the second Maleficent. Excuse me. He did the Marco Polo series. Young Woman of the Sea. He did direct that. That I did see that last year, and that's Daisy Ridley who plays Rey in Star Wars, and that was a good one, but it was simple.
Mhm.
He's
So he's relatively new, it looks like.
yeah. Oh, I guess he directed a short in '97, and that's
That was probably
besides
like a
that.
student film or something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's looking like his professional career.
Mhm.
He's very much stayed in that 6.5 to 7.5
Mhm.
range of what he's done, critic
Okay.
review
Well, I
wise.
guess early 2000s. He's been around for a while then. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the number of films rather than like the timeline, but looking at the timeline, he's been doing stuff pretty.
Yeah, director. Yeah, there's not any
Yeah.
extra, I guess, here.
Mhm.
He's great. What? I swear he's done something with aliens as well. I know Fede Alvarez did something, but maybe Joaquin Ronning produced it with him. Nope. Nope. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Who knows? Just I know we kind of went off on a half tangent with the Hobbit thing for half a second there, but
Mhm.
it's a good example of you had Guillermo del Toro there willing to make 2 films. You know who's been talking about making a sequel to Tron Legacy for a decade now? Joseph Kosinski, who is doing great now. Freaking Top Gun 2, and then he just directed F1 as well.
I've got to see that. I want to see it.
It's again simple, but so good.
Mhm.
And I think Joaquin Ronning did a good job with Tron Ares. There are parts of this movie
Yeah.
that are my favorite Tron movie. I think just conceptually and just what's happening. I do like the other two films better because of the characterization that they give to it, and I wonder what it would have been like having this film, which has been in development for 10 years as well. Literally, Kosinski,
Right.
I believe, is credited as a producer on this on Ares. I can double check over here real quick. It just I wonder what that actual sequel to Legacy would be like, rather than this almost just like we kind of touched on at the beginning. Is this does feel like a placeholder film, if anything. It's to say, hey, just remind me, Tron's alive, Tron's here, things are going on. This is a cool little universe. We got some stuff going on. You should check it out, right? Check it out. Come watch our movie.
I'd have to think a sequel to Legacy would involve more
Sam and Cora.
Yeah, more like would involve like that world coming into reality since she did it, so it kind of makes sense that the next step would be, well, of course we're going to weaponize it, and there's going to be, whereas like NCOM, right? That's what it is. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
Wants to use this technology to, produce food, medicines, like cures for cancer, whatever. It wants to do good in the world with it. Whereas Dillinger's like, oh, well, let's just, military industrial complex, make soldiers, make weapons, So the Ares kind of makes that, sees the, oh, I can do good in the world is nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm glad that, they make that change, but just, I guess Julian Dillinger gets his in the end with that end credit scene where they do the outline from like the original movie thing. I thought that was cool. I'm like, oh, okay, that's definitely
Granddad put a disc
part
in there.
2 coming or sequel or whatever. But yeah,
Dillinger, I felt like was Julian Dillinger, Evan Peters was both the most and least underdeveloped character. He's the one I was not rooting for by any means whenever he was on the
No,
show.
because he's just like, willing to lie, cheat, steal. I mean, they show him he's hacking into their systems to try and find that code and all that stuff because they're making the military, because they do that. The movie opens with that demonstration or whatever, and they don't know about the 29-minute thing.
Yeah.
And so like their whole company is riding on them figuring this out, right? And I mean, I like that it's Gillian Anderson, right? That's how you say it.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson.
Like her, they just wasted her.
I was literally just about to ask you.
All she did was like yell at him, slap him, and then get killed in the end. It's like,
cool.
They just wasted her. Like she could have been like, oh my god. Anyway, that annoyed me.
She's another character where they had more film there. There is more there, and we want to see it. I feel like. The other thought was that it was a completely dropped bag. That they didn't. That Julian Dillinger at the end didn't put him and his mom into the into the grid. I feel like that as she was dying would have been the way to save her.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to keep Gillian Anderson around, which is never a bad thing. Which, if you can keep good talent around, you keep good talent around. Typically, that's kind of a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, they just had her stomping around, pissed off at him, and she slaps him once when he's being stupid, and it's like he's just willing to lie, cheat, steal, whatever to try and get this code and save their company or whatever. And anyway. He was just kind of annoying. I mean, at times he was like kind of like a good sort of evil character, I guess you could say, but other times he was very like almost, like comic book villain kind of things at times, and that wasn't real. Yeah.
I didn't mind it just because Evan Peters has so much fun. Actually, I think he had more fun than anybody else on set. I think him and Jared Leto.
Right. I mean, he definitely ran with it. That's for sure. But yeah.
Oh, and I just keep going back to mentally give us the extra footage. Like this film could be cut down, into another 12 minutes shorter of a film, but give us that extra 15 to 25 and let us make the decision if that pacing is bad or not, the missing context shines more than almost the movie at the end of the movie, and I think that's probably the biggest bad of the film. I think the ugly that we've kind of gone over is what are we doing? More Ball than Anubis. Far more. Which is good because Ball has those moments that are absolutely freaking terrifying, especially when you meet him later on. There are a couple times where you're like, "Ooh, I thought you went funny on us." Nope, you're still pretty bad.
Yeah.
And you kind of get that with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does kind of turn in a little Anubis kind of performance whenever he is. I do like that they made him the big giant mask whenever he's talking into the grid, which is very much like his grandpa in the original film in a lot of ways. That was just cool. The big, not angry face, but the looming face of just doom right there.
Master Control. But actually, Ares was Master. Anyway, that I got a little confused on the Master Control thing. Because wasn't Ares Master Control and then he gave it to Athena? Is that her name? Yeah. Athena.
Yeah. I think he.
But then, anyway.
Again, give us 15 seconds of dialogue that explains it, and we're happy. We're there. Because obviously we're sci-fi nerds. We're sci-fi folk. This is kind of our territory. This is what we're going to talk about on a weekly basis, in or out, whatever, But I don't know if the enjoyability of the film is there enough for a public crowd. I don't think Tron or Tron Legacy necessarily have more. Hey, how we doing, guys? This is a great time. It's not like a popcorn flick by any means.
Right.
But it's not at the same time. And there is a line that kind of needs to be towed. And the first two tow it far better. And this one, leans into its seriousness. It doesn't feel almost like a Zack Snyder movie by any means, but it feels like if you're gonna put it in like a comic book tone or something like that, it would be more in
Yeah.
the Snyder world of tone rather than Marvel pop. Woohoo! You know, but
Yeah.
they tried to add elements of that Marvel pop in there,
Mhm.
especially with the side character. Did you find her assistant guy that is only wearing yellow because everybody only has to have their like one cool like specific color to wear to like stand out amongst the crowd, kind of?
Eve's
Um,
assistant guy? What are you talking about?
Eve's assistant with the yellow hoodie.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, he's obviously going to be, the nerd in the chair kind of guy or whatever, but he just
was it
seemed to be kind of there. I don't know what purpose he served except for to help carry out the plan at the end. But even then, she got
comic
that
relief?
other guy, the other two people that worked for the company, like that PR guy or whatever he was.
Yeah, the
Um,
co-CEO with her or CFO, whatever
yeah,
he was, COO,
yeah.
something. Um,
I don't know. He didn't.
what,
Did he fix the?
obviously
I don't remember.
he's he's comic relief, but he
Yes.
does have purpose in the film, and I didn't
Mhm.
find him as grating as I expected to whenever I saw him on screen the first time.
No, he was just kind of there.
Yeah.
They didn't have him do too much for most of the movie, anyway.
No, I feel like they did, like and we mentioned it earlier. Is Greta Lee is getting some flack for her performance of just being a wooden performer in this film, which I think kind of comes from two things. The
Right.
assistant is, as much as he wasn't as grating as I expected him to be,
Mhm.
he's there simply for comedic relief.
Right.
Take that character. I was making sure I wasn't flicking everybody off. take that character and cut him out. Cut him out. Give those characterizations to Greta Lee's Eve Kim and allow her more personality rather than just my
Right.
sister's dead.
Yeah.
I'm going to quit this company after I do what she wanted to do. I don't care about anything. I'm not going to tell you what I'm even about. You're not going to learn any information about me besides my sister's dead and I'm sad. That's kind of
Right. I
always
mean, you
done.
get glimpses in those, when they go through her life kind of thing, you get the glimpses of her and her sister. And, that's how you get the story that she even died of cancer, is those
Yeah.
flashbacks or whatever.
Which were good. I thought those were
Yeah.
great.
I mean, we could have gone with the guy that, loves breakfast burritos.
Yeah. But between
That was,
both, making sure I'm not doing it, taking out the side character, the assistant, and then
right.
also just having Jared Leto there alongside you. Working along great actors makes you be a better actor. We've seen it.
Mhm.
There's countless times.
Yes.
And I think Jared Leto put in, like I said, I think this is my favorite performance he's done outside of his kind of Oscar bait type of roles. Obviously, Dallas Buyers Club and Requiem for a Dream, they're above this.
Yeah.
But this is kind of, I think, my third favorite Jared Leto role that I can think of, just off the top of my noggin, That being said, if Greta Lee shares the vast majority of her scenes with Jared Leto and comedy counterpart, you can't lean into comedy because, okay, this guy's entire character is simply the comedy.
Right.
So let me try to fit the more grounded person in the middle. And when you're trying to fit that grounded performance and you have Jared Leto to bounce off as, when Jared Leto is supposed to be this cold, calculated AI, which I think he does very, very well.
Yeah.
It leans Greta Lee's performance closer to that cold, calculated AI performance rather than the fun-loving woohoo. Because, okay, I have to let him do that work, and I need to be the grounded character that's just sad now. And because she's bouncing off that calculated kind of cold performance, I feel like it leans that way as well and borrows. They borrow from each other, which leans into their chemistry some. They don't have much chemistry at all.
Right. Well, she's a nerd too, so I just kind of took that into it.
Yeah,
well,
there is a subtle chemistry, I felt, though. I felt like there's something that the next movie, again, like that might make sense in a movie. It just
there was like a connection there, but it wasn't like, I don't know.
It was implied rather
I don't know how to put it on words. Anyway, I was going to say something I forgot. It'll come back to me. Anyway, go ahead.
Frank parts, they happen. I have them every 30 minutes, so yeah. There's this film is the epitome of the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think it is all three. More so than the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that's just a damn good movie or the trilogy. You know,
it feels like it's one of those movies they were really leaning heavy in. Ooh, doesn't this look awesome? Don't pay attention too much to the story. This just looks awesome, you know.
Which is a disappointment when the story they have is freaking cool, and I think really good too. It just didn't get the attention it deserved, and it is Tron, so you want those CG elements to look just amazing.
Yeah,
big check. It is Tron. You want that music to be better than any other soundtrack that's going to come out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, the soundtrack is pretty good. Is good, but it's 9 Inch Nails. So,
yeah. Well, I guess they technically scored it as well, if I remember correctly.
I want to say yes, but anyway, I remember my other point now.
Yeah,
which is I wish with Eve we would have got more story of like when her sister was dying rather than just those quick little flashback cuts of like, oh, she's sad because her sister died. But it would have been nice to get a little more of how much they really, you know, like, I don't, even if she just has some flashbacks in her head of like scenes with her, or they had some deathbed conversation about wanting her to carry on with whatever, you know.
You mean
would have been nice.
Instead of just talking about that with Jared Leto in a car, maybe have that start of a conversation there and be a perfect moment for literally what you just said. Have a deathbed flashback of them having that beautiful moment together rather than, oh no, my sister's in a bed and I'm crying and I'm sad. And yes, it is sad. It is. Like, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no way to, and I'm not trying to diminish cancer or anything like that, but
I just didn't really care that her sister died. It's like they just didn't make you.
It didn't seem like she did.
Feel like that's what was motivating her. It's like at the end, it was like in the car scene that you're talking about. It's like, oh, so that's why she was so motivated. Whereas before, it just felt like when she shows up at her sister's lab or whatever in the beginning of the movie, it's just kind of like, okay, sister died. Now time for me to carry on and finish what she was doing. They didn't get any sense of like it was motivated by it was her last wish or they were super close. You just didn't. It was just like, okay, whatever, your sister died. Who cares? Like, you're just doing this thing, you know?
Well, and definitely correct me if you don't feel the same way, but it did kind of feel like for a while, I thought at least, that at the end, whenever she completes her mission, she said, I'm going to retire. I'm good. I'm done. And then it's kind of convinced to stay. And I don't want to get dark or anything. And I guess I won't say the word so YouTube doesn't try to demonetize us.
Maybe she was.
But I thought she was going to.
They implied that.
Yeah. I thought she was like.
They did imply it. Yeah.
Well, it felt like
he turned her from, like, his existence turned her from that because now that he is, she wants to like carry on. And I guess, because then they show again, and, you know, they show at the end, like, you know, like, oh, they're doing all these good things in the world now. So
it's like, I'm not convinced Eve Kim would do that. Realistically, I think she from what we get, all she wanted to do was complete her sister's work.
Right.
Because she felt like her sister was the better person.
Right.
And that's kind of the entire baseline behind it. She's like, hey, I'm not ever going to live up to that. I'm going to complete her work. And then kind of bite the bullet is what it felt like and sounded like, and it felt like the entire time. And if within that extra 25 minutes of film, if there is, the same thing, like it's a beautiful parallel. If they leaned into that with Ares, where Ares is finding not a lust for life, but he's getting an intrigue for life that, hey, I didn't know this was even like possible. This is the first time intrigue has ever happened. And then wait, I'm thinking about life. I'm alive. Like all those concepts.
Right. And that he can do good in the world. He's not just a soldier to carry out Dillinger's missions or whatever. Like that was his purpose. And now he sees he can do good in the world or whatever. So he's kind of out there mailing postcards, discovering himself. I guess.
Which
Yeah.
people have been giving flack to the movie for, but I think it makes sense. Like, let's be realistic. If any of us came into being with the knowledge that any of us have right now, and just were like, oh yeah, this world's wild, all we would do is go explore, like that, or bunker in a hole somewhere and try to never leave it. Like, those are kind of the options. But same thing with Eve Kim is she's clearly depressed in a lot of ways. It would have been interesting to see her climb out of that depression in a parallel to Tron Ares climbing out of, or just Ares, excuse me, climbing out of not necessarily a pit of depression, but like almost a pit of despair of, I can't make my own decisions. It's not necessarily slavery, because it's almost more parenthood in a way. He's almost becoming he's leaving his teen years and becoming an adult in robotic sentience, and happens much faster with robots, it seems. But those parallels would have been fun to discover alongside of one another. And you have that moment with Eve and her sister, and you have that moment where Tron leaves Julian Dillinger, and those would have been a beautiful parallel together right there. And I feel like that was in the script somewhere. It's all set up, and it's all laid barren for us right there, and it just doesn't jump on those.
I don't know, but maybe Disney or whoever powers that be were like, oh, you got to make it more action, or maybe they felt like it was getting too dramatic and they want it to be like the sci-fi action thing, and so like, let's not worry so much about that and let's focus on the action stuff.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well. Not for the better, but
no,
it makes sense.
But hopefully maybe they do an extended edition. That would be cool. But
an extended edition would be it, because this movie is, I guess we should talk about how it is not doing very well at the box office. Might as well mention that. So you've seen us clamoring about this movie. We have a lot of thoughts. If you haven't gone and seen the movie, go check it out. Like, form your own opinions. Don't just listen to us and other critics or reviewers or reactors or whatever online. Form one's own opinion for each and every film project, whatever. And then come back and let us know what you think, and we'll talk some more. But I feel like if they want to push this film further and get it behind more eyeballs, of course streaming very well might just do that naturally when it gets there. But for the hesitation people already have with it, just to go see it in theaters, while it's kind of the big blockbuster out right now, there's not a bigger blockbuster out technically right now.
No, till next week anyway.
It's I feel like it needs that extended edition, or at least a cut scene or two or three added back into it. Maybe prior to it being put on streaming, and whenever it gets to digital DVD, digital release, video on demand, so on and so forth. Add a couple little extra scenes back in there, just those little bits that we've talked about, or if there's more important scenes that we're not just we're just guessing and hoping and thinking what makes sense from what was given to us in the film. If there are more informative scenes that make more sense than what we've come up with, like obviously put them out there. Give us more Cameron Monaghan. Give us more Eve Kim's sister, and something.
I'm just like, what would be the storyline of that? What's his name? The guy you said got cut out of the film. Cameron Monaghan. Like, what was the storyline there that they cut out? I guess we don't know. But,
well, I feel like that's a whole thread of something that just kind of got taken away.
Right.
That it couldn't have been. Obviously, he's kind of gone by the middle of the second act, or kind of early to mid second act.
Yeah.
Was that later in the film, though, originally? I feel like that would have been a later part of the film, and it was kind of pushed forward.
Or if I wonder if, Gillian Anderson's character would have been using him to sort of undermine what her son was trying to do or something like that. Yeah.
Which may have been a good way of saying, like, hey, this
Mm-hmm.
is the AI that I'm talking to, is Gillian Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go talk to my son's AI and try to kind of like imbue some of the values I've imbued in this AI into him or something like that.
Right. Like he tries to undermine Athena maybe because she was against Julian doing all that stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
going after, because he was like took it way too far, like went over the edge by bringing all that stuff in the real world and
she wasn't
the
happy
real
that.
world destruction and killing people and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They could have gone the medical route instead of the military route, and how cool would it be? You know, like it doesn't
Right.
matter if 29 minutes is the only amount of time you have there. If you can patch people back together and do what you need to in that amount of time, and
Right.
I guess you don't need the light to stay after the fact. You're good if you can sew somebody up and suture somebody up after re-searing their skin with 3D printed lasers or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many
Mhm.
different ways to do that
Yeah.
could have been really nice. I still like what we got, but having honestly, Gillian Anderson's character leaning into like medicine rather than militancy would be awesome
Mhm.
to see. Because there's
Yeah.
something there. We just don't know what it is because it's not
Mhm.
there. You know, they just cut it out.
Right. Again, if there's another movie, which I kind of am thinking there's probably, well, we'll see. I'm not hopeful that there will be another one.
Well,
But
I'm
and
not
what
not.
would that story be? I guess now that Julian would be master control or whatever, I guess. But
They have the thing that really gets me about this one in a good way is it sets up the best Tron movie that we'll ever get.
mhm.
Oh God, where's some wood? I have a wood desk. I'm knocking on wood before I even say the words. But as much as I'd say, hey, let's do it in 10 years, Jeff Bridges is pretty freaking old.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to have Jeff Bridges in the next film. Give us 5 years and then do it, like, because I don't think there's a way that they don't end up revisiting Tron sometime sooner than later. And if they have
Right.
this well of a setup for a Tron sequel, naturally it's the way to do it.
Right. But you don't
Even if it was,
necessarily have to have, there's other ways to keep Jeff Bridges around now. So even if he's not in the real world, they could, make that work still.
yeah, they could digitize
Um,
him. I
yeah.
just love him.
Yeah.
My favorite part about him in this film is he's obviously at this point he is like grid Jesus. He is Paul
Mhm.
Atreides. He is Anakin Skywalker
Yeah.
for the Tron world.
They even have him in robes.
Yeah,
They go,
which was awesome. And it just I was like, this is Jeff Bridges leaning into
yeah.
like Lebowski Jesus for sci-fi. Like
Yeah.
it just worked.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do much acting there, but that's okay. It's Jeff Bridges' charisma holds enough
Yeah. It
acting.
was just, he wasn't in there a lot. I mean, I like the fact they had, like the little glass room that was like his office as it really was, and they were using that ancient computer.
It was so
That
cool.
he
And
went into it, and it, they kind of had, what it looked like in the original movie a bit. It was kind of cool.
his main office in the real world. I thought you were talking about his office inside of there. Oh, both of them were
No, his
amazing.
office in the when they went back to NCOM and they have that little kind of museum room.
Oh, that office. The other
Yeah,
office. I
yeah,
thought you
the
were first talking about
museum.
the one in the
Yeah,
grid. Then I thought you were talking about the one
no,
in the
no, the
back
one that
room
they
that
have like as a, like almost like a museum. They go in there to use the computer because it's not part of the network or something, or it
yeah,
has the information in it or something. Whatever it was.
it,
Anyway, when Ares goes in there, it looks cool.
that's
For
it's
sure.
awesome. And that's
Yeah,
I think
and that like
nostalgia done well
Flynn
too.
like lives in there still. It's funny. Yeah,
Tron in the real world now. Bring Boxlighter
yeah,
back. um
yeah.
yeah. There's just there's so many thoughts with this film, and they really do encapsulate the entire process of thought too.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's what you want from a movie a lot of times. Obviously, we can pinpoint and pick apart the little aspects that we know we wanted more of or didn't really
Right.
drive home
Mhm.
for us. But the fact that we can kind of say, hey, we know you filmed it, just give us a little extra
Mhm.
is a lot better of a feeling than, oh yeah, that could have been cool. It's because there's an element of that could have been cool, but it's also we know it's there. Just put it back in, you
Mhm.
know. And it I know that's a big request for studios, but also it's much
Yeah.
more doable and digestible, I think, for your general audience.
Mhm.
And it gives them a little hope, you know, and
Right.
hope's a dangerous thing, as they say.
Yeah.
I
Is Disney going to do that? But Tron's always been a Disney thing, isn't it? From the first,
think
I
so.
think. Yeah.
Um, if it's not Disney, well, no, because 2013 Tron Legacy was Disney, wasn't it? Or 2012, whenever it was. Because it's either Disney or Fox, and I don't think it was Fox. I think it's Disney.
Right.
Chad, if you want to double check us on that, we would be very appreciative.
Mhm.
But speaking of chat right here, David asked us, is
Mhm.
there any dodgy love triangles in the film?
No.
There's six love triangles, actually. Gigi Headley comes back as Chiana and actually has she every father and son she can find. She just goes, sorry. Avoid season 3 and 2 of Farscape, y'all. Or watch it and come watch it with us on Mondays
Yeah.
on Patreon. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, that's over now, apparently. So that part's over. But anyway.
Oh, thankfully so. Because
Anyway, so out of 10, what do we give this? I think like 6.5 for me.
overall,
Mhm.
the elements that I like about it, I really like, and I think I want to give it an 8 out of 10.
Mhm.
Realistically, I think I'm gonna give it that 7 out of 10.
Mhm.
I think there's enough there for it to be just a little bit more than middling for me.
Yeah.
It just like we've talked about, there's so many other rungs of the ladder that I wanted to climb up on
Mhm.
that we just didn't get to. That I can't give it the 8. Now I want to give it an 8, 8.5, 9. Really, I mean, especially with the way it looks. This is
Yeah.
how sci-fi movies are supposed to
Mhm.
be. But
Right. I'm willing to go 7. I think if I rewatched my reaction, I probably make it sound a lot better than what I'm thinking now that I've had time to think about it. But anyway, it is what
well,
it is. No, but
and we all
overall,
think
I
that,
think, like I said, I think if you like Tron, you'll enjoy this movie. The visual effects are good. You know, if you want to like just kind of enjoy the ride, don't think about the plot too much. I mean, there's issues, but it's a movie that you can sit down and just enjoy. It's not
it
going to blow you away. You're not going to necessarily be running to the theater to go see it again. You might watch it on streaming again, but
probably, yeah.
yeah.
Um, it was funny yesterday. We were planning out when my roommate got home from work. We're like, all right, we're going to see a movie this evening. And the idea, well, because my roommate, we told you we were throwing a bunch of different parties on Sunday and had a few different events going on, yada, yada. So we were all very, very tired yesterday. And, you know, big old cleaning type of day, so on and so forth. And my roommate was like, let's go see a movie. But also, we do have Regal passes, and it's only 50 cents for a movie ticket. I wouldn't
Right.
mind falling asleep in the movie either. It is a great place to nap. And I was like, 50-cent naps, I'm in. I'm not opposed,
Yeah.
you know? And then we waited for another hour for our other roommate to get home from work as well. And then I guess we'd kind of relaxed and chilled out for a little bit, so weren't as tired. And then we went to go see one battle after another. But it's I wish it weren't a film that it sounded like a good 50-cent nap, especially whenever I was like, okay, well, I got to go talk about this tomorrow. You get to take a nap. I get to just get a little bit more reinformed again. Cool, you know? There's so much in it that I want to grasp further in. And I think most of the general audience, and any of us that have watched it, there's so many elements to pick and pull from that are just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't 100% deliver.
Yeah.
I wish that we get a third true Tron film. Yeah, I think that's the right way to say that. A third true Tron film. That way it feels like a mainline trilogy, and then the two ancillary products are the what's it called? Tron something something something, the TV show that I think only lasted 1 or 2 seasons, the animated TV show, and then Tron Ares would fit very well as a 4th and 5th kind of ancillary project on top of it, or a secondary project typically. That would be a complete Tron world, I feel like. And if they did that in 5, 6, 7 years, cool. That I feel like would be a wonderful, cool way to actually pay everything off over time, because they've set up a great film to do it. But realistically, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot to set up afterwards. So if I were them, I'd say, hey, let's make that next film, call it done, and say that's it. In 15, 20 years, if there's something else technologically that makes sense that we could do, sure, but let's not do that. Let's because the one thing Tron Ares, like we said, didn't really do was have a not fulfilling necessarily, but have a full story for itself. It very much relied on everything in the past and set up everything for the future. And there is a story that happened in this movie, and it is its own film and its own like succinct way of telling this. It just leaves us wanting more in good and bad ways rather than just good, which leaving us wanting more is the telltale sign of a great film.
Yeah.
Leaving us like we didn't have enough is the telltale sign of a bad film.
Yeah.
And I think there's enough cool stuff where it definitely offsets the bad aspect of it, because those things, like we mentioned a minute ago, are totally there and just not added into the film, and they were stripped back and just added back to us.
Yep.
Would you call it a popcorn type movie?
Yeah. Yeah. If you mean like you're just enjoying the ride, not thinking about it too much, if that's what a popcorn movie is, then yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got an element about that. I wouldn't call it a popcorn movie necessarily. I think whoever, because it kind of feels like Disney at the end, like you mentioned earlier, it kind of came in and was like, okay, make it a little bit more popcorny. Because it very much is hard sci-fi in that deliberate, calculated, just technological way. Personally, I would prefer if it would have stayed in that, and like we mentioned earlier, cut out the comic side character and just give your actual main character a full personality rather than an aspect of personality.
Yeah.
It's fun to have caricatures in film and TV and stuff like that where, okay, we're always going to know what they're thinking because they're the brash hothead. Oh, we're always going to know what they're thinking. They're the dumb guy that's an oaf but friendly, lovable giant at the same time, and always going to give you a big hug after everything, after being sad. But whatever, one or the other. And you can always do that. There is room and elements for that. But whenever you have a main character that you're following for the entirety of a film, layer that stuff. It doesn't need to be one note. And it did feel like one note. And I think she had a very subtle performance. And I really, really appreciate the subtleties of it. But those subtleties aren't paid off in this film. Those subtleties would be paid off in a latter film where, okay, was she in love with Ares, or was she just very much intrigued by a new sentient being? Like, there's an element of both, because she is super sciencey, super intelligent. She's a CEO of one of the greatest tech companies on the planet at the moment.
They kind of make her feel intrigued, but then in that scene towards the end where you see him like writing the postcard or whatever, where he was sitting at that cafe in some foreign country somewhere, she kind of got this look like, hey, I think I kind of like this guy, kind of thing. But he's just out there exploring. And I think the motorcycle he's riding too is the same motorcycle that maybe was in Legacy that Sam was rebuilding or whatever.
Oh,
I don't know if it was that exact one, but I think that was like a little reference there.
Give us the extra 8 seconds of film that would be to just show Jared Leto uncovering the motorcycle and driving off with it. That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah. But I think it was I don't think they don't say that, but I think he does. I think it is that motorcycle that he rides off.
It would make sense. He wants a car and stuff like that, but he doesn't want some new fancy tech-based vehicle or anything like that.
Right.
So, hey,
he's going to be like,
give him something more manual, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Like he's trying to avoid the digital world, maybe. I don't know. But then that's the thing too. If he goes back into that's another storyline. You know, if he goes back in, Julian, who's now I guess master control or whatever, is in there. Is something going to happen with that? You know, they could do. There's a lot of stories that could be told.
Him and Cora only have the one life now.
That's true.
And we don't need any dodgy love triangles. We really don't. We don't need any dodgy love triangles.
Oh yeah, if him and Cora met, that would be.
They were to do something. Cora and Ares would be. It doesn't matter how long. It does matter. It does matter, obviously, how long Cora's been with Sam for this time. Right. But she could immediately relate to Ares more, and Ares would immediately relate to her. Now, does that end up being like I doubt it would end up being a motherly type role, maybe like a sister brotherly type role, but I don't know if that's as interesting. I don't know if a love triangle would be distracting, like we talked about from the Hobbit trilogy earlier. There's an element of that could be really interesting there, and I don't think leaning into it would be a good thing, but maybe adding the element of that in the back of all their minds would be interesting. Kind of have that and then who knows what happens. Eve Kim and Sam Flynn end together, and they're co-CEOs of ImCon again. I don't know. Right. Whatever they end up doing.
Or is there going to be more of, Cora's and Ares out there?
Can they bring Cameron Monaghan back?
Anyway, now we're getting into speculation.
Now we're getting into speculation. Overall, we gave it 6.5, 7. We want more out of it. If they were to do an extended edition, obviously, let's just say they add arbitrary half the things we talked about that should be in the film that seem like they already were. If they added those things back in, how much does that move the needle for you? Out of like 10.
I'd have to see it really. To know, it would depend on what it was and does it fit, because, not all, there's some extended editions you watch and you're like, oh, that's cool to get that extra whatever in there. And there's some extended editions you watch and you're like, oh, that's why they cut it out. It's like,
and sometimes it's both too. You're like, oh, I see why they cut that out. I like it, but I wouldn't have put it in there either. It's like one of those two.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, or they would have had to have expanded the movie way more to have that one scene in there to explain it, and just it'd be easier just to leave it out.
Yeah, if they added those back in, just assuming that they would be on par, quality, so on and so forth. I mean, they have a good crew and cast. I think they probably would be, but that would hopefully move my needle closer to that 8. Maybe even 8.5 if we really got the context we needed and more of the characterization that we needed too.
Just they kind of just skim the surface of emotions rather than really giving us something that you really feel.
So the maybe because we're an hour 15, it's 12:15 around these parts. We're gonna start wrapping in circles if we're not careful here.
Yeah, but we're kind of starting to already.
I know. The final thought, I guess, here is would it be closer to that 8.5 for you, or 7.5, 8 for you if they would have taken the time to do the characterizations here and maybe even higher of a score for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to care more about the characters. I mean, you cared about the story and, it was interesting. But again, it felt like they wanted the like wow of it to be the center stage and not the story or characters.
Yeah. It just
And it
it
wasn't
felt
even
forced
that.
that
I mean, it
aspect.
was a wow, but it wasn't like blow you away wow.
No, yeah. Now visually it was blow us away, wow, but we need
Mhm.
more substance in that.
Yeah.
Overall, I still really enjoyed it. I
Mhm.
do think it's getting a bunch of flack right now unnecessarily, but then again,
Mhm.
like we've mentioned in streams past, what Tron movie has it when it's come out? Nobody likes Tron when it comes out, critic wise.
Right.
Audiences tend to love them, and over
Right.
time, the
Right.
general consensus
Mhm.
kind of fills in that kind of similar
Don't
manner.
like sci-fi movies kind of
Longer
don't
legs.
always get like the best like critic ratings and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like metal music. Like metal music critics always hate it, and that's changing, I think, now that us Gen Xers who kind of grew up with metal and stuff appreciate it much more. But I'm glad
Now
we're
it's just part
finally
of
getting
music.
away from the Beatles or Stones thing. It's like that's so you know
Now Beatles
yeah
and Stones are mashed into the same sentence a lot of times. There's no
yeah
longer like one
yeah
or the other. What's your type of music? Like,
right yeah hmm
yeah, Tron does kind of fit that bill in a lot of ways. Um, and I hope we continue to get more. I
hmm
enjoyed it enough where I think it would be really nice to see more and see the
right
4 decades of Tron, 3 decades of Tron,
hmm
um, come to fruition. And I
yeah
think they've set up the perfect film to do so. I do just wish this film would have taken the legs to make us feel what we want to feel while
hmm
watching this film.
right. That's the thing, like it's like it doesn't have a soul or something.
Yeah,
Is the best way to put it, but,
it's
you know,
different than
yeah,
like the Marvel movies and TV shows of the last few years where
yeah,
all the fan theories are so freaking cool and everyone's planning out this really interesting stuff and oh my
yeah,
god, oh this is going to happen, this superhero is going to show up here and this is going to happen over here and
right,
so
yeah,
on and so forth, and then none of it happens and everyone's like, well, the fans came up with better stuff than the people,
right.
than that actually wrote it.
Mhm,
This does not feel like that. This feels like all of those things that we want there are there. They just got cut for a theatrical run. And
mhm,
give us that extended edition. Give us that extended edition. Somebody, please.
mhm,
And I, I, I think a sequel would be much more viable then.
mhm.
And also, we'll see with streaming. In 4 months, we might be talking about, well, Tron's been number one on streaming for the last month and a half now. Like,
Mhm.
who knows, But
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
that would make me a happy
Yeah.
camper.
Mhm.
Anything else that we need before we jump out of here?
Nope, I think just the usual housekeeping things, which you're doing a thing tomorrow, and then is it next Wednesday? We're doing the V for Vendetta?
I
Yeah,
guess so, because it's the 5th, correct?
yeah, yeah,
Which sci-fi, it's dystopian sci-fi-ish. We're
yeah,
there. It is
ish.
kind of, it's actually dystopian sci-fi in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we're combining an outpost and a radical wasteland for that. Then it'll be the radical outpost, or
Oh.
or
The Radical Outpost.
Gateland or something. I don't know. Is Tron in line for a Chevron Award?
Maybe for visual effects, but
Probably for
we've got
best
to decide
film.
what are the categories going to be.
Well, because I mean,
Yeah. Well, we're going to cut out doing the nominations on live stream, right? Like we're going to do
yeah,
them among ourselves, and then we'll put out there what the nominees are for people to vote on.
yes,
Okay.
and I mean, because we are talking sci-fi films, it's pretty positive that Tron's going to be in line for Best Picture and Chevron Awards.
Right.
So we will see. We will see if it is the best sci-fi film of the year or not. Because
Mhm.
I guess we didn't choose one for the year. But if we did choose one for the year last year, it was kind of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at the end of the day, right?
I don't remember.
Oh, that's a great idea, Tony. Yeah, we'll do that. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But until then, tomorrow afternoon for our Brits, y'all, it might be a little bit later, but tomorrow, I guess afternoon, I'm going to try to do that Twisted Metal season 2 coverage. Thursday's a travel day, but Friday, I think we will have a regular Radical Wasteland podcast, and if not, I will keep you posted. Sunday, regular Sci-Fi Sundays, of course, and until next week, just wait and hang with us in the meantime, but just know what's coming, and don't forget to remember the 5th of November.
Yep. We have to decide where we're watching it, though. Have we?
Gunpowder
streaming service we can watch it.
I think we looked it up. I don't think it was in. No, it's not anywhere. Oh, maybe it's on Netflix. Oh, nope, not in our country.
I mean, I own it, but
I do own it as well. I wasn't like, well, so we could totally do that. But yeah, we will see y'all this coming week and throughout the week as well. Hopefully tomorrow as well. And remember the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason, and plot.
Yep.
It's been a good one. Thank y'all. And we will see you soon.
Bye.
Adios.